We are not at the northern or southern or western or any other command. We're at a buddy's place, far, far away in Illinois. Cappy, what are you doing down there? Never mind, long story. And we have a request. If you have requests, you have things, email stuff. Now, this is in response to a video we had. Unfortunately, a father got divorced, and the wife had the kid. No, I'm sorry. He got visiting rights. I think it was like 2 or 3 days a month, and he wanted to know if he should move out to South Dakota. I think it was from a East Coast state. So, and then fly in and basically see his kids a week at a shot because he got to see his kids so little. And and I'll be forthright and I'll admit I am no Rich Cooper. I'm no Terrence Popp. I don't have children. But the economist in me looks at these guys, and there's been several other clients that I've had that are in the same situation where you barely get to see your kids. Effectively, you don't get to see your kids. And uh, you guys, single dads, will destroy your finances and your life trying to get more than the pittance of custody that you get. And even if you are marginally successful at doubling it, so maybe you get a week per month, when you consider that the mom, the public schools, media, social media friends, and teachers and professors are going to have way more time with your kids than you will, it's a losing battle. And instead of crippling yourself financially and destroying yourself emotionally and destroying yourself psychologically, I talk about the long game. Just again, outside, impassionate, never had kids observer, but I'm looking and I'm like, all right, you're just destroying yourself for something that you can't have. Somebody put it brilliantly. It's like once you get divorced and custody is given to the wife, and all that, uh, the state has made it so you don't get to see your kids anymore. The state now controls your kids. And you're not going to win. You're not going to beat City Hall. And as the Machiavellian or the empiricist that I am, with no vested interest in it and no emotion to cloud my judgment, I say, well, look, you're in it for the long game. You're not here to win your child's heart over at the age of 13. You're there to win them over and get respect from them at the age of 30. And I'm old enough now that I've seen that happen where it's not always the mom that's the villain in this. Sometimes the dad is a villain too, and you got to and they besmirch and slander the other spouse, the other parent. But I've seen it where your father's a dirtbag, he's scum, he's evil. Mom gets full custody of the kid. Kid realizes mom don't, single moms, frankly, don't know shit. Some of them do, some of them are good. For the most part, they don't know shit. They rear their kids not in a malicious sense, though that too sometimes, but in a skewed sense, a misinformation sense. And then when the kids, doesn't matter, son or daughter, gets into the real world, they realize it's BS. Sometimes the moms are actually psychotic and abusive. Shock. And then inevitably the kids find dad. What the heck happened, dad? There may be some animosity. And then they realize dad was the good guy. Dad wasn't lying. Dad is not the Lucifer incarnate that mom painted him to be. Matter of fact, mom's a little off her rocker a little bit and has skewed my upbringing and wasn't exactly very clear, forthright about the real world. And then I say, that's when you can have yourself a relationship with your children again, a healthy one. In the meantime, I've seen a score of men destroy their lives financially and mentally and psychologically trying to fight for their kids when the game is rigged. The house is going to win. And the house is not the casino, by the way. The house is the government. The house is a little bit more powerful than a casino. So we have a guy who responded to that. Dear asshole, love your content. You can make a video out of this if you want, and you can use my first name if you make a video out of this. Let me know how much. You just did a video about a guy who wanted to move out of state away from his ex and kid. He got screwed in court and sees her, a few hours a week? It's retarded. This is a point of view from a father. You have two choices. First is to go fight for joint custody, which I don't get how you didn't get that in the first place, but the courts suck. If you're not in a place to do that, go live your life. Making $50,000 a year, you could afford that. It will probably cost $30,000 to $60,000 just to get fucking joint custody. Make sure you read your divorce decree, and when I think he means his daughter. I thought he had a son, but your daughter, comes to you, let her read it so she could see for herself just how fucked you were. Come up with way to let guys. I'm gonna prices only go up. They're only going up, guys. I'm come on, guys. Read your fucking emails before you send them to me. Come up with way to let her know you love her and go live your life. This is where I recommend that you gentlemen, you single dads, set up a blog, like a little journal for your daughter or son in the future to read. That's for your kid, not your ex. Fuck her. My question is, why full custody? Unless the state he's in is truly fucked. Well, let's also be intellectually honest. It's not as simple as ex-wife bad, single dad good. I've met some weapon grade asshole dads who deserve to get divorced. So I'm going to assume intellectual honesty, like you did your best. You didn't run off on your wife. You didn't treat your kids like shit. But that's a pretty big assumption nowadays, given the low quality and caliber of dads out there. But let's just, stick with the main theme here. This guy needs to understand that he has been effectively removed from his child's life by the court. It'll be very, very expensive, and the end result will probably be the standard visitation, which is stupid, every other weekend and like a random Tuesday or some other shit. Also, it's going to be an uphill battle because the mom will be talking shit about him no matter what he does. So his best chance is to actually follow your advice and go live his life and prepare for the time when his daughter comes to him and goes, why? And that might happen. I mean, 18 years old, once they're 18, you say, son, give me a call. Let's meet up. Or daughter, give me a call. Let's meet up. What your mom said that? Well, your mom's a lying sack of shit. And when you want to, and I have evidence. And that's why I think, having a blog or journal online to prove, like, look, I posted this when you were 7 years old, and I've kept a journal for the next 11 years. Please read this. Yeah, and save those documents. That's a good thing the client recommended, is that you save your divorce papers. Like, okay, here's what the judge said. And sorry, dear, I got to eat. I have to survive so I can see you later. I will tell you from my experience, my ex moved to Hawaii and basically made it to where she had full custody. I missed out on a lot, but at the age of 16, my said fuck you literally to his mom and is with me full time. I lived my life and have let him read my decree so he understands what she did and why I did not fight for him. He's coming to grips with it, and we are figuring it out. Anyway, thank you for the content, and we'll just keep you anonymous there. So there you go. That's it. I, again, never married, don't have kids, don't know what psychological, emotional hell you guys are going through, but do not make it worse, destroying your finances, trying to get some marginal addition of custody from your kids. And I know this sounds like you're using your kids as pawns, but I don't know why. Generally speaking, I know some single mothers actually care about their kids, but generally, I believe most parents don't care about their kids as much as they do themselves. And I don't know why women fight so much to have custody of the children. We can make cynical arguments that they get child support or they get government support, or that it's for vindictive purposes they get. But whatever reason, they want those kids. And that's a bargaining chip. You say, okay, I'll give you full custody. You don't get any alimony. I'll pay the child support. You don't get any alimony. I get to keep my assets. And I hate to recommend you use your children like that, but you were never going to get your children anyway, unless you're in a county or a state where I've seen this happen where custody is 50-50, because that's good for the children. But you could just use it as a bargaining chip. And even if you were married, it's an uphill battle. Your kids are going to be misinformed and warped and maleducated anyway by the public schools, your ex or current wife or social media. Unless you're going to be a dad, here's guys, unless you're going to be a dad, and by be a dad, I mean don't stick your dick in crazy. Choose the right woman to marry, and then when you have the child, you spend time with the child. Foreign concept, I know. Because as much as we want to slam on single moms and how they ruin it, look, you guys are the ones that got them pregnant. And I've not seen a lot of dads that do the Ward Cleaver thing and sit down and educate their children and spend time with their children. You just don't do it. But if you do that while you're married up until the time before you get divorced, your kids are going to, well, dad was here. What's happened to dad? And they'll remember that and say, well, then why did dad leave? And mom will tell them everything, but they'll say, but dad was so maybe not nice, but he was there. He was a dad. And then you'll have the grounds say, okay, you know why I abruptly left? Because there was no reason to fight for you. There was no way I could spend any time with you. And I'm not going to cripple myself financially. But I mean, step one, choose the right girl. Step two, don't get married. Step three, don't cohabitate unless it's a what do they call it? Common law thing. All right, super chats. Cable Summers, $10. I was in a long-term relationship with a single mom of 3, 2 different fathers. Could you have just hired Asshole Consulting before you did that? Let me guess how this one ends, Cable. She betrayed my trust with another person. I couldn't let that go. Sex was amazing. Of course it was. She moved on with someone else. Why I want her back? Because you are a pussy and you have not found other ulterior purpose and reason in life. You have defined yourself by another person, namely women. And if you can't walk out on something in 30 seconds, it isn't worth it. You need to stop putting women at the number one position of your life. Okay? That's why you want her back. Because there's nothing else exciting. If my girlfriend leaves, I got other stuff to do. I have other things to do. I mean, it would suck, but I got a life. You don't have a life. You're defined by women. And that's the only thing. How do I get the girls? So go hit the gym, go do something else. And I shouldn't be so hard. Maybe you mean you actually fell in love. That's another thing. You love, and there's going to be a little bit of heartache and breakup. But and if you're younger, I can even understand it a little bit more. But if you're 40 and you're acting like this, dude, you got to go get a life. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. See you guys later, Toodles.